Hello everybody. Today I'm going to explain the concept of track groups in Cohler Classical. So in REAPER you have got individual tracks, which can be mono, stereo, or actually even multi-track in a track, multi-channel. But in Cohler Classical we're dealing with editing multi-take, multi-track audio. So we do that using track groups. So first of all, I'll create 4 tracks here. So I type Command T and I create 4 track groups, okay? 4 tracks, and we'll call those A, B, C, and D, okay? Now, before I record or do anything, I want to create multiple track groups that each have these 4 tracks in them. So that way I can bounce around and do multiple takes and so forth. So in order to do that, I go to the Options menu, Initial Setup, and I say Create Source Groups. That creates 10 identical groups. The top is the destination, and then you've got 9 sources. Each one of these now has those 4 tracks called A, B, C, and D with a prefix telling you what it is. So S1 colon is source 1, S2 colon is source 2. They're color-coded, and the markers for each group are color-coded. But if I open up the top track group, you see you got A, B, C, D. The next one, if I open it up, you got A, B, C, D, etc. in the same order, etc. Now, if I then record something, I can record it anywhere, and I'm recording out the files A, B, C, and D, which can then be loaded anywhere here. So that's one of the reasons. And then it can be edited. So if I'm doing multi-take editing, let's say I'm going to do 3 takes of something, I'll come in here. Let's set the input to my microphone here. Okay, and now we'll arm this for recording, and we'll record. So now I'm recording, and there's take 1. Okay, now it didn't just record in one track, that recorded in the entire track group. So you'll see there we have the waveforms, and if I made those tracks bigger you could see them. They're too small right now, but if I come in here and make the track size larger, let's make it 50, there you can see it now. Okay, so it recorded all 4 tracks, A, B, C, and D, take 1. Now let's say I want to do another take of the same thing. I come down to the next track group and do it there. Hit record. I'm doing take 2 now. There it is. Okay, and so on. And those files are automatically created with those names according to the track names. So the A files go in the A track, the B's go in the B track, the C's go in the C track. Why is this important? Well, first of all, if I want to rearrange the tracks at any time, I can do it with a click. Let's say I've got a whole bunch of audio loaded here, and I decided, oh, what I really want to do is put the D track first. So I could come over here. I'm going to turn off the arming of these. And let's say I drag and put the D track before the B track. So I have A, D, B, C now. And then I go in here, Options, Update Setup, Copy Track Layout to Sources. Go. Now notice the audio is still there, but if I look at it now, you'll see it's A, D, B, C. It moved the tracks and the files with them. So I can redo the layout, I can add grouping tracks, and also, more importantly, I can reload takes from the take directory directly into these by name, whether or not they're adjacent. So, for example, if I delete this for the moment, but then I say let's say I wanted to load it up here. I go File Load, it says I've got 2 takes, and let's say I want to load take 1 up here. There it is. Okay, and it automatically puts it in the correct tracks by file name, which match the track names. Now the other thing that's important in a track group is when you're doing this kind of editing, you have to have the same number of tracks in order to edit something. If I want to do a source destination edit, and I want to grab this piece of audio from here to here and put it in from here to here, and I do the source destination edit, those have to have the same number of tracks in order to do an edit, okay? So the other thing that's important is that if you, most of the time when you're editing, we're doing it with the tracks closed because there is no reason to have them open. And this way we can see all of our takes together. And sometimes we want to drag a take around. If we drag it, we can drop it in the right place. But if we have the tracks open, we might drop it in the wrong place. So if this was opened up and I drag this, I might drop it in there, which is incorrect place. So my software will tell you it immediately repaired the bad move in group 3, okay? And it put it back where it was. The correct place would be to go there. That would be okay, but if I try to put it there, that's wrong, and it tells me that. So the software is always going to check and make sure you haven't accidentally put a take in the wrong place, which might go undetected for 2 hours while you're editing and then screw up your entire project. In Cohler Classical, it protects you against those kinds of errors and prevents you from messing up the entire project. Now, let's take a look at a project where I've already got a whole bunch of files and you can see what's going on. So I'm going to open up a new tab here, and I'm going to open up this Copeland project, Appalachian Spring. I'll make a new copy of it. Okay, this has in it probably about 1,000 files, so it's loading up 1,000 files right now and grouping them all. They're 13 track takes, and there we are. Okay, I'll now put this back to here so you can hear the music as I play it. But what you see here are all the takes. This is about 80 takes in this file. All right, you see all the take numbers there. And these are the edits. And by having these multiple identical track groups, I also have identical mixers in each track group. So if I look here at the mixer, I go from there to there to there to there, they're all exactly the same. This one had this opened up, but it doesn't matter. All the levels are the same, all the effects are the same, all the sends are the same, etc. That means that no matter where I play, wherever I place a take, it's going to sound with the same mix. So if I come in here and want to listen to this take, or this take, you can hear they're identical in terms of sound mix. They're totally different takes. All right. So this is for multi-take, multi-track, track group editing, where the audio is all acoustical. So the different microphones, they all bleed into each other. So here we've got 13 different mics. But if you listen to any one of them, you can clearly hear all the sound. I'll show you that. Let's go into the mixer here, and I'll open up all the mics here so you can see them. All those thin strips are the mics, okay? So, and then I'll solo some of them so you can hear just individual microphones as we play. So here's the full mix. Here's this mic. 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 So it doesn't matter which mic you're on. Some are spots, some are general mics, but even the spot mics pick up sound from everywhere. So when you edit, you have to edit them all as a group. Otherwise, you'll be destroying the sound. So when we do track group editing, we line up all our takes like this, and each one of these that looks like a single item is actually a 13-track grouped item. And as we do these edits, we create items up here that edit those items. Let's take a look here. Let's go over here and look at some edits. So there were 2 edits right there. I'll go into the first edit, And if I open that up, you can see that's actually an edit of all 13 items at exactly the same place with exactly the same fade, which is critical in order to get high quality sound. So that's basically in a nutshell about why and how track groups work. The track groups allow you to do multi-track editing. They allow you to move items, multi-track items around as if they were single items. And it's kind of, for Reaper users, it's kind of like the multi-track version of comping. But comping is only useful for the very limited purpose of single track, click track editing. In other words, music that's identical in length and speed and so forth, which is not the case in normal performed acoustical music. It's only the case in studio click track, single track music. So if you're recording a single electric guitar with a click track, comping is useful. For any kind of acoustical music, comping is totally useless. And track group editing is what you need. Now, this capability doesn't exist in Reaper, but when you add Cohler Classical onto Reaper, you get all of this. So that's the basics of track groups in Cohler Classical.